The upcoming episodes from July 6th through July 17th are gearing up to be some of the most explosive television we have seen all year. And trust me, you are going to want to hear this. Let's talk about the clue that completely shatters the current narrative. We need to focus on Britt Westbourne. For what feels like an eternity, we have watched Britt suffer under the crushing, suffocating weight of a Huntington's disease diagnosis. We watched the heartbreak, the agonizing goodbyes, the sheer terror she felt believing her brain and body were slowly deteriorating. She made life-altering, reckless choices, including going on the run because she firmly believed she was living on borrowed time. But a new detail could expose the truth. Lucas Jones has been meticulously digging into Britt's medical situation, and he has discovered something absolutely mind-blowing. The syringe found in Britt's room, the one supposedly containing her vital medication or a lethal dose, was filled with nothing but simple saline solution. Saline, guys. If you ask me, this is the smoking gun. This single, irrefutable medical anomaly suggests that Britt's Huntington's diagnosis might have been a complete and total fabrication. If this detail is true, it changes the entire landscape of the show. We have to start connecting the dots. If Britt is actually perfectly healthy, it means someone deliberately engineered a fake medical record to convince her she was dying. Why would someone do that? To mentally break her? To exact some twisted revenge on her mother, Liesl Obrecht? To manipulate her into leaving Port Charles? And while we are looking at the sinister manipulation of evidence in the medical field, we have to look at the exact same thing happening in the legal field right now. There is an epidemic of fabricated truths spreading through Port Charles. Look at Brooklyn Quartermain. She is currently orchestrating a masterclass in deception, meticulously planting tampered GPS evidence to frame Willow Kane for the brutal hit and run that nearly cost Jordan Ashford her life. Brooklyn is sitting back, watching the walls close in on an innocent Willow, desperately hoping this elaborate frame-up will help her escape the consequences of her own reckless actions. Brooklyn thinks she has committed the perfect crime to protect her marriage. But that is where things become extremely interesting. Harrison Chase is a detective who follows his gut, and his gut is screaming that something is wrong. Chase is watching Willow be backed into a defensive corner by the justice system, but he isn't buying the narrative that she fled the scene. Chase knows Willow's character, and he is starting to suspect that a highly coordinated trap has been set for her. If Chase pulls this thread, if he digs just a little too deep into the origin of that GPS data, he is going to trace it right back to his own wife. Brooklyn's desperate attempt to avoid the spotlight is actually pushing her closer to the moment her entire life collapses. And the legal lies don't stop there. The fallout from the hit and run is severely impacting Curtis Ashford. Curtis has been aggressively pushing a defense strategy that points the finger directly at Isaiah Gannon, hoping to clear his own name. But as the evidence constantly shifts and the police investigation turns its focus toward Willow, Curtis's strategy is completely falling apart. It is becoming impossible to blame Isaiah. Now, Curtis is backed into a terrifying corner. He is being forced to heavily weigh a plea deal that would require a short stint in Pentonville versus taking his chances in court and risking a much harsher long-term prison sentence. The walls of deception are closing in on everyone. There may be more to this story when you look at how the WSB is operating in the shadows. Carly Spencer is currently on a relentless warpath. She is throwing all her weight around, aggressively pressuring WSB head Z to cut all professional ties with Jocelyn Jacks. Carly is desperate to protect her daughter and thinks she can simply bully the intelligence agency into letting Jocelyn walk away. But every single sign points to Carly's plan failing miserably. Why? Because Carly doesn't realize who is actually holding the cards. Jocelyn isn't a helpless victim in need of her mother's rescue. She is the mastermind operating behind the scenes. Jocelyn has made a highly classified, incredibly dangerous secret deal with Z. She is the one pulling the strings to secure the freedom of Jason Morgan and Valentine Cassadine. Jocelyn is essentially trading her own freedom and embedding herself deeper into the WSB's dark world just to save them. Carly is completely in the dark about her daughter's massive sacrifice. And because of Jocelyn's secret negotiations, Jason Morgan is finally preparing to come home. But his son, Danny Morgan, has absolutely no idea that a release is imminent. Danny is operating on pure, reckless adrenaline and a massive hero complex. In a desperate bid to save his father, Danny is actively dragging Rocco Falconeri into a highly dangerous, off-the-books rescue mission. Danny's intentions might be noble, but his rogue actions have the severe potential to blow up everything Jocelyn just sacrificed to achieve. Danny could inadvertently trigger a disaster that keeps Jason locked away forever. The theme of betrayal and shattered illusions is tearing through the Spencer family as well. Lulu Spencer is about to get hit with a truth bomb that will completely rock her foundation. Charlotte Cassadine is going to crack under the pressure and confess a massive secret. Valentine Cassadine was secretly hiding out at Carly's house for an extended period of time. Lulu is going to be absolutely stunned. This confession is going to force Lulu to reevaluate a massive chain of events and realize that Carly, someone she trusted, was actively harboring a fugitive right under everyone's noses. The trust between these women is going to evaporate in an instant. Speaking of Valentine, his impending freedom means a reunion with Anna Devane is finally on the horizon. After all the distance and the danger, they might actually have a chance to heal their romantic connection. But any hope for a peaceful reunion is going to be rapidly overshadowed by a terrifying psychological threat. Anna is suffering from severe, vivid hallucinations of Peter August. Peter's ghost is relentlessly haunting her mind, clouding her judgment and forcing her to make erratic, inexplicable decisions. These hallucinations are severely damaging her relationships with her closest allies. But we have to ask ourselves, is this purely PTSD, or is someone actively using mind-altering psychological warfare tactics on Anna, much like they faked Britt's illness? The interrogation of truth is happening all over town. Look at Ava, Jerome, and Ethan Lovett. During a moment of intense vulnerability, while bleeding from a gunshot wound, Ethan confessed that Phoebe is not his biological daughter. Now that he is recovering, Ava is refusing to let that confession go. She is fiercely interrogating Ethan, demanding the truth. Ethan might try to backpedal, claiming he was delirious from the pain and blood loss, but Ava knows a hidden secret when she hears one. She is going to dig until she finds out who Phoebe's real father is, because that single truth could change the power dynamics in Port Charles forever. Even the rare moments of pure, unadulterated joy in Port Charles are tainted by the impending doom of these secrets. Trina Robinson and Giovanni Gio Palmieri are about to experience a massive triumph. Gio's piano accompaniment during Trina's highly anticipated performance is going to be a spectacular success, potentially opening up massive new career opportunities for both of these talented young adults. But even this beautiful, memorable moment is going to be overshadowed by the crushing, suffocating guilt radiating from Brooklyn, who is watching them while knowing her own framing plot is about to destroy her life. The stress of all these colliding lies is literally inducing medical emergencies. Portia Robinson is about to face a terrifying scenario. After a fierce, blood-boiling, screaming confrontation with someone close to her, we are hearing it could be a desperate Curtis, a furious Jordan, or someone else entirely. Portia's body is going to give out under the extreme tension. She is going to go into premature labor. The absolute chaos of Port Charles is forcing a new life into the world before it is even ready. So how does this massive web of medical lies, legal frame-ups, WSB cover-ups, and psychological manipulation all connect? Here is my big reveal theory. We are rapidly approaching the historic 16,000th episode of General Hospital on July 13th. This isn't just a milestone, it is a narrative detonation. We know Steve Burton is making his highly anticipated official return to the screen as Jason Morgan, but more importantly, a mysterious new character named Tristan Roberts, played by Dean Geyer, is making his grand debut. What if Tristan Roberts is the puppet master? What if Tristan is a high-level WSB operative or a rogue scientist who is the architect behind this entire epidemic of illusions? Think about it. He could be the one who fabricated Britt's Huntington's disease to manipulate Liesel Obrecht. He could be the one utilizing experimental WSB technology to project hallucinations of Peter August into Anna Devane's mind to keep her destabilized. He could even hold the missing pieces to the puzzle of Phoebe's true paternity. Tristan's arrival in the 16,000th episode could be the catalyst that connects every single lie currently suffocating Port Charles. If this grand theory is true, the aftermath is going to leave a trail of absolute destruction. Who will lose everything? Brooklyn is going to lose Harrison Chase, her marriage, and the respect of her entire family when her cruel frame-up of Willow is exposed. Carly is going to lose her mind when she realizes she has zero control over Jocelyn and that her daughter is now deeply entrenched in the dangerous, bloody world of the WSB. Lulu will lose her fundamental trust in Carly and Charlotte, but the most emotional fallout will belong to Britt Westbourne. If Britt discovers she is perfectly healthy, she will have to face the devastating reality that years of her life, her peace of mind, and her relationships were stolen by a malicious lie. She will have to rebuild a life she thought was ending, while simultaneously hunting down the monster who played God with her medical records. Anna Devane might lose her sanity entirely if she cannot find a way to purge Peter's ghost from her mind. And Curtis might lose his freedom entirely if he makes the wrong choice regarding his plea deal. We may be looking at the beginning of something huge, guys. The 16,000th episode is a massive reset button for Port Charles, launching a brand new, high-stakes storyline that will challenge everything we know. The truth about Britt's health, Brooklyn's crimes, and the WSB's deep corruption could be closer than anyone realizes. The dominoes are lined up, the first one has already been pushed, and someone in Port Charles may not be ready for what's coming next. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because this is going to be a wild ride.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.